The cozy aroma of espresso and polished wood filled Café Lumière, but the calm atmosphere couldn't mask the tension surrounding one corner table. A small girl, no more than 10, sat alone, her hands feeling cautiously across the surface in search of a braille menu that didn't exist. Behind her oversized sunglasses were eyes clouded by blindness, and her trembling lips repeated softly, "Mommy, come back soon. Mommy, come back soon." From her post behind the counter, 26-year-old waitress, Riley Monroe immediately noticed her. Unlike the usual entitled professionals who filled the upscale cafe and treated kindness as part of their bill, this child radiated quiet panic. Riley turned to her manager and asked if anyone was helping table 8. Jordan barely looked up from his phone. "VIP, wait for Mrs. Ellington." That name, Camila Ellington, CEO of Ellington Dynamics, sent shivers through most of the staff. Her reputation for perfectionism and ruthless feedback meant no one dared approach her child without permission. But 20 minutes had passed. The girl was shaking. Riley pushed again, but Jordan reminded her coldly that she was on probation. Just then, the child knocked over a vase, water spreading quickly across the pristine white tablecloth and soaking her expensive dress. Riley didn't wait for approval. She crossed the cafe floor, knelt beside the girl, and spoke gently. "Hey, sweetheart, I work here. Can I help you with that?" The girl froze, scared. Riley reassured her and offered to clean up and bring her something warm. "Mom's going to be so mad," the girl whispered. "It's okay, Ava. Accidents happen," Riley said, though her expert dabbing couldn't hide the small stain. "You're lying," Ava said, with a faint smile. "Adults always do that." Riley chuckled. "Smart kid. It's just a little stain. Nothing a napkin and a smile can't fix." She offered hot chocolate, and though Ava hesitated, she eventually nodded. Riley returned with hot chocolate, a grilled cheese sandwich, and cookies, placing each item gently and explaining where everything was. "You talk different," Ava said between bites. "Most people talk to me like I'm stupid," Riley smiled. "My brother's blind. He's 16. I know how people treat someone like a diagnosis." Ava lit up, sharing her love for Braille, books, piano, and how she could tell people apart by their footsteps. Neither of them noticed the sleek black car that pulled up outside. Inside, Camila Ellington watched through the cafe window, observing every detail: Riley's patience, Ava's laughter, and the trust blooming between them. When she finally entered, the air shifted. Jordan scrambled to greet her, but she brushed past him and approached Ava's table. Riley stood up, heart pounding. "Yes, ma'am?" Camila's eyes were unreadable. "I see you took it upon yourself to feed my daughter." "Mommy!" Ava interrupted with delight. "Riley was so nice. She told me stars are like music. You can't hear." Camila remained stoic. "How much do I owe you?" "Nothing," Riley said. "It's on the house." A tense silence followed before Camila nodded and led Ava out. "Can we come back tomorrow?" Ava asked. Riley said she'd teach me to tell a cappuccino from a macchiato by smell. As they left, Jordan stormed over. "My office, now." Riley knew she was fired. What she didn't know was that, even before the door closed, Camila was texting her assistant. "I want a full report on Riley Monroe by 8 a.m. That evening, Riley returned to her cramped apartment where a resignation letter lay beside unpaid bills and an eviction notice. Her phone rang. It was her brother, Marcus. "Don't give up," he said. "You always believed everything happens for a reason." "I got fired for helping a child, Marcus. What reason could there possibly be?" Before he could answer, the intercom buzzed. "Ms. Monroe," a calm voice said. "This is Margaret Lynn, legal assistant at Ellington Dynamics. Mrs. Ellington requests your presence for a meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. The next morning, wearing her best thrift store dress, Riley stepped into the towering glass headquarters of Ellington Dynamics. On the 45th floor, she was ushered into a sleek conference room where Camila stood surveying the skyline. "Yesterday, you served my daughter after I explicitly asked that no one interact with her," she said. "She was hungry," Riley replied. "Do you know why I left her alone for almost 2 hours?" Camila asked. Riley blinked. "No." "To see who would notice," Riley frowned. "You used your child to test people?" "Ava knows. It's a game," Camila said without apology. Margaret slid a folder across the table. Inside was a termination settlement with more zeros than Riley had ever seen. Riley pushed it back. I'm not for sale, and using your blind daughter as bait is revolting. The room froze. Margaret looked horrified, but Camila smiled. She asked about you. She doesn't usually do that. She reached for another folder. I have a different offer. Camila's next words made Riley freeze. This wasn't just an offer. It was a proposition that would change everything. Ava needs a full-time companion, Camila said evenly. Someone genuine. She slid a sheet across the table, and Riley's eyes widened. The proposed salary was 10 times what she had ever earned waiting tables. Why me? She asked, barely managing to keep her voice steady. My daughter has a gift for detecting lies, Camila replied. You passed her test. With a slight nod, she motioned to Margaret, who handed over yet another file, one that laid out Riley's entire life in chilling detail. Her dropped college plans to care for her blind brother, the long hours juggling, 3 jobs, the sacrifices she made to keep him enrolled in a specialized school. Riley's throat went dry. How do you know all this? Camila didn't blink. I have resources. And your brother. He's a gifted pianist. He deserves to audition for Wellington Academy. Riley's eyes flashed. That's emotional. Blackmail, Camila shrugged. It's business. Opportunities for both of you. That afternoon, Wellington Academy called. Marcus had an audition. That night, driven by unease, Riley dug into Camila's past and unearthed a web of whispers. Former staff silenced, lawsuits buried, and a 5-year-old car accident that left Ava blind. Camila had been driving. The case had been sealed. The key. Next day, Marcus performed so beautifully that he brought a professor to tears. Riley made her decision, not for the money, but for Ava, because someone needed to truly see the little girl the world kept overlooking. 3 months later, Ava was flourishing. Her laughter filled the halls. She asked curious questions, explored art, science, and music with joy. Riley was no longer just a caretaker. She was family. One afternoon, while organizing books, she stumbled upon a hidden box inside Ava's diary. Inside was a flash drive. It's Mom's, Ava whispered. Uncle Theo helped me hide it. That night, Riley clicked through the files. Old home videos, buried news articles, internal emails, evidence of the crash, the cover-up, and multiple opportunities for treatments that might have partially restored Ava's sight, all denied. Why would she do this? She asked Theo. His answer was blunt. Control. Camila fears that if Ava sees again, she'll see who her mother really is. The next day, Camila told Riley they were going to a foundation meeting, but Riley planted a tracker in Ava's backpack. Hours later, she and Theo followed it to a secluded clinic where Camila argued with a doctor while Ava waited alone. She does this every year, Theo muttered. It's not healing, it's control. Riley had heard enough. She burst in, demanding answers. What are you doing here? Camila barked. It's over, Theo said, placing evidence in front of her. Everything about the accident, the cover-up, the treatments she denied. Camila's voice trembled. You don't understand. I can't lose her. Riley stepped closer. You already did. Ava turned toward them. I always knew, she said quietly. I heard you crying. I just didn't know why you never let me try. Camila broke, sobbing. The doctor spoke up. There's a new treatment. A 60% chance of partial sight. Ava turned to Riley. What? Would you do? What do you want? Riley asked. Ava didn't hesitate. I want to try. 6 months later, in the sun-drenched garden of the Ellington estate, Ava stood wearing tinted glasses, pointing at a tree with a smile. It's orange and brown, she said. I can see the outline. From the porch, Camila sat silently with her tea. She's healing, Theo murmured. She's stronger than I ever was, Camila replied. Things had changed. Camila left work at 5. The foundation she once used for image now funded real change. Riley helped lead its social programs. Marcus, now thriving, played to sold-out audiences. One evening, Camila turned to Riley and said, Run the foundation, not as staff, as partner. Riley blinked. Why? Camila looked her in the eye. Because you saw what I couldn't. You believed in her. You taught me compassion isn't a transaction. On Ava's birthday, the mansion echoed not with executives, but children's laughter. She proudly displayed her textured artwork, designed to be felt, not seen. A young boy asked Camila if she was blind. She knelt beside him and smiled. Not with my eyes, she said, but I used to be. That evening, Ava handed her a gift, a textured painting. To remind you, she said, that sometimes we have to lose something to really see what matters. Camila held the painting close. Riley stood nearby, quiet and thoughtful. She hadn't set out to change anyone's world. She just did what was right, and sometimes that's what makes all the difference.